Hello YouTube family, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the upcoming IPO. This is the Regency Petroleum Limited IPO. So I'm going to discuss about the company, the offer, and I'm going to look into the financials basically. So that would be mostly it for today. If it's your first time on this channel, please subscribe and like this video. So we're going to get into the IPO, and then we're going to just discuss and make a conclusion. So the company today that's issuing shares for the first time is Regency Petroleum Limited, and the lead broker is GK Capital. So the company is issuing 115 million shares to the public, but overall the company is issuing 287 million shares. And the company is based off the western side of Jamaica. So the company office is located in Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland, Jamaica. And so we're just going to give an introduction about the company here. You can find that here on this page, about us. So RPL for short is a licensed petroleum bulk distributor with a strong presence in Western Jamaica that operates in two main segments. And the two main segments that the company described that they operate in is number one, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, which is cooking gas, and two, automotive petroleum, which is gas stations. So the company was started in Western Jamaica, but they have a storage plant in Crawford, St. Elizabeth. That plant store their LPG cylinders. And the company does bulk and boat to commercial customers. So the company state that new service station in quarter 22, the company purchased real estate property in Paradise Pen in Westmoreland. And that was in quarter 2, and the company expected this project to be completed in quarter 4, which is this quarter. So the company is expecting to put a new gas station in operation. And the company is also in the process of negotiating terms to establish a service station in Negril. So seeing this company is basically carving out a niche for itself. They are operating in the western side of the island. And that side of the island is not as competitive as, let's say, the south, the Kingston, St. Andrew area, or other areas of Jamaica, like, you have the northern side, Montego Bay, St. Anne. No, the company, out of the 287 million shares that the company is offering, 171 million is going to be reserved, and the reserve share pool will be divided between key strategic partners, GK Investments, and associate loan conversion. So the company is really clearing off its balance sheet. It's going to pay off its debt, and the company has a loan with Grace Kennedy, and Grace Kennedy took the option to convert this loan into shares, and that was a part of the original agreement. So As you can see, companies is issuing shares at a price of $1 per share, and 115 is to the general public. So this is a small IPO. And if you really look at the overall picture, that means that the general public will have a very small percentage of shares. That means this IPO, the share will be illiquid. So we can expect that there will be a huge demand and there's a short supply. So it could be that this company will trade like the previous IPOs. But I'm gonna talk further on that. So if you want to really sign up for this IPO, you have GK Capital, but outside GK Capital, I saw JMMB also. They also taking part in the IPO, and you have VM Wealth. Don't remember the name. VM. You can sign up with VM. Let me search the name. I think they call it Wealth something. I don't remember the name, but VM and JMMB, if not GK Capital. So regarding risk now, we're going to talk about the risk factors that the company state here. So the company states several risks, but most of the risks are really regular risk, generic risks. So it's really the same risk that most companies face day to day. But the company specifically highlighted conflict of interest. Said Mr. Andrew William is the founder and CEO of RPL, and he is involved with several other businesses, which are family businesses. And they said there would be conflict of interest. So he had to resign in some of those businesses and really took this business on fully. No, Miss Sabdol Williams, which I'm not sure seemed to be his wife, resigned from the board of directors and transferred her 50% shareholding in RPL to Mr. Williams. So it was a case where the company was owned by Miss Williams and Mr. Andrew Williams, but now the company is fully owned by Mr. Williams. So he now own 100% of the business. So another risk that the company highlighted was the commodity risk. The company sell petroleum products, which is oil. So you know that there will be volatility in the price of oil. But I don't think this will really affect the company as much, because regarding whether or not the price goes up or down, it will really affect, because oil is one of those products that is almost inelastic. So there's no product that is fully inelastic, but when it's almost inelastic, if the price of oil goes up, people still have to travel to work, and you still have to travel. You still have to travel to do your business. Yes, some persons who might cut down their trips for like the trips that they do for leisure, but they won't cut down everything. So, and then the price will go up, and the company is operating based off margin. So this won't really affect the company profoundly. So, as I stated before, the company is issuing 287 million shares. So this is a breakdown of the allocation. So only 40% of this allocation is going to the general public. So we see here where we have a very slim margin going to the general public. So we can expect, I expect that the price there might be some fighting for these shares. And just like previous IPOs where they are allotted by in proration, they also do the same for this IPO. So the IPO is opening November 24. November 24 is November 24. Let me see. That's next week. That is the Thursday coming. But you know how these IPO go? I believe this IPO will close within hours. So if you're interested in this IPO, it will be best if you apply before the IPO open, because the shares will be allotted on a pro rata basis. That means it gonna depends on the amount of person that apply, they're gonna divide it. So you can expect that you're gonna get a small portion. But for those who they don't really matter about the portion, I mean, you could still go ahead. So in this section right here, the company is giving an overview of the company. So the company states right here, Regency Petroleum Company Limited, with operations spanning across Jamaica, is a petroleum marketing company licensed to distribute bulk petroleum products. And the company was founded by Mr. Andrew Williams, and he owns 100% of this company at the moment. So the company is in two main segments. You have the LPG cooking gas, and they have two subsectors within this segment. So they have bulk and they have retail. So the bulk, in terms of bulk, no, they sell to hotels, restaurants, and other commercial users, while retail is individual customers. And then the second segment that they're in is the automotive petroleum, which is transportation fuel. So they operate this in also two sub-segments. They have bulk and you have wholesale. So you have 87, 90 diesel, USSD, ultra low sulfur diesel. So regarding their current gas station, when I read further down, I realized that they didn't offer like diesel. Was it diesel to in these gas station? Let me check. Oh, they don't offer 87 at their current gas station. But they stated that in the future gas stations, they are planning to introduce the 87. So I think this will contribute to their overall performance. Also, the company is planning to open another gas station that I stated before, but they also have a next one that they are planning to open in the first quarter in 2023. And these two gas stations will significantly increase the company's revenue, because imagine now, the company only has one gas station and they have the LPG. So with two more gas stations added on, we can expect the revenues to grow furthermore, and also profit. But so regarding the IPO, no, the company estimate that for the IPO, what they're going to use to do with the money, the company said here, the company estimates that the transaction cost will amount to $22 million. So it costs $22 million for the IPO. When you talk about brokerage fee, legal fees, all of that, and tax and all of that. Then they have $75 million that they will use towards completing their gas station that will be finishing in this quarter. And then $160 million will be used toward liquidating existing debt. Then $30 million will go towards like their LPG. So they state here approximately $30 million will be used towards general corporate expenses and capital expenditure, including the purchase of additional cylinders. So the company is looking to expand the both segments of their business. And the total number of shares that the company will have after the IPO is 1,148 million shares. So what that means is that, as you can see right here, it will break down as follows. So Mr. Williams will have 80% after the IPO. or correct my statement right here. It's not 1,000,000,148. It's actually 1,435,000,000. So what they are doing is really increasing the amount of shares. So at this moment, after the IPO, shares will increase from 1,148,000,000 to 1,435,000,000 shares. So Andrew Williams will own 80% of the business after the IPO, and other shareholders will own $287 million. So the breakdown goes as after the IPO, post IPO, if the IPO goes through. So the general public will only own 8% of the shares. That means this will be a tight IPO. Also, that means this company will be illiquid. Grace Kennedy, Greek Investment will own 6.96%, which are almost 7. And RPL employees and strategic partners will own 3.87. And then you have also other associate loan conversion that will gain 1.1% after the IPO. So you can see this will be a very illiquid company in terms of trading. So based off this, I can expect that it will be very difficult to get these shares after. So as I say, this company will definitely, if goes as the other IPOs, it will trigger the circuit breaker rule a lot of the time. So we can expect the circuit breaker to be triggered numerous times after this company will be listed. So in terms of dividend, the company state right here, if the company is admitted to the junior market, the directors intend to pursue a liberal dividend policy of up to 30% of net profits available for distribution. So the company, I think this company really won't give this amount of dividend because it's a young company and they have plenty of growth potential. They have a lot of growth potential. So it wouldn't be, I don't believe that these junior companies should be given this amount of dividend, but anything is possible though. But I think they will want to reinvest in, as I state right here, policy of up to 30% of net profit available for distribution, subject to the need of reinvestment in the company from time to time. So they stated actually, so they won't really, they might give dividend, but based off the reinvestment projections, I don't think they will give a lot of dividend. So if you're a dividend investor, I don't think you should be investing for dividend in this company. In terms of the company's board of directors, this looks like a very experienced board of directors, and also we have a lot of independent directors, which is good for the company. And the management seem very capable. And in terms of mentor, we have Mr. Hugh Graham, which is the CEO of Paramount Trading Limited, which is another company that is traded on the stock exchange. A very good CEO. So he's a mentor to Mr. Andrew Williams, which is also good. So we can expect him to be supported with strong management and board of directors. So one thing I realized I didn't talk much about in terms of the company's growth. I realized I left out some of the things. In terms of the company use of proceeds, the company will be purchasing several tankers, and I think in terms of their bulk cooking gas and their automotive, so they have their own tankers and delivery trucks. So that would be very good for the company. So the company be less reliant on outside parties. So this is a good thing for the company. So I expect the company to grow significantly over the next few years. So I won't really do industry overview, I think it's pretty generic. I might do another video on this IPO or a live. I might just do a live instead. So over the last 3 years, the company revenue has increased at a compounded annual growth rate of 268%. And these are pretty good numbers. So the company is a growing company. Gross profit has also increased by 214%. And they're also very good. The company has a lot of potential. Profit before tax also has increased by 371%. And this is very important to note because companies that are listed on the Junior Stock Exchange, they benefit from a 5-year tax-free. So they benefit from 5 years without tax, and then another 5 years they pay 50% of their tax amount. Regarding the cash flow statement, so we can skip this part. So we're gonna look here. So 6-month review as at the end of June 2022. So the company, since this financial year, for the 6 months period, the company revenue has expanded by 34%. And the profit before tax has also increased by 46%. And that's good. So you can know we can expect some growth for this year. So based off that, I expect that look at their income statement. So currently it's $51 million, the profit before tax there. So I expect that for this year they might reach $100 million in profit. And this might push their price to earnings maybe around 12, 11, based off a rough calculation. So it's maybe just trading near the market average. But overall, based on the projections with all the gas stations that they plan to open, it would seem to be offered at a discount if I'm looking at it at a 1 year time horizon. So I won't really go much further into this prospectus review. I might do another video, like a summary, and like just mainly valuation, and then just to clear up other further questions. But as I can see, I encourage everyone to read this prospectus and to get a clear idea of yourself, because this is not an invitation or recommendation to buy this IPO, but the company is looking good overall. So I encourage you to still read the IPO read the prospectus for yourself, that you can make that decision. So this will be the end of this video. I won't go much further. State in the comment if you want me to do a follow-up video. Please like and share this video.